The question is, why are they saying that? It doesn't make sense, but it makes political sense. It is an effort to cover their own tracks. Our foreign policy establishment failed to constrain Vladimir Putin. To bring you back to ancient history, like a week ago, they were telling us that sanctions and arming the Ukrainian military would prevent a Russian invasion. Now, they were wrong about that. They've been wrong many times, most recently in Afghanistan. And in fact, now that we're casting blame, if there is any single American who deserves scorn and, yes, blame for the invasion of Ukraine, it would be Joe Biden. Of course, it was his job, self-described job, to prevent it. But of course they won't admit that. Instead, they're attacking you, and they're doing it with partisan goals in mind. Democrats plan to use the Ukraine invasion, this has become very obvious in the last 3 days, in the very same way they used January 6th. So, bad event takes place, no one really is for it. No one defended the riot on January 6th. We certainly didn't. But history is rewritten immediately for partisan ends. So then you take the hysteria ginned up over that event, some of it legitimate, by the way, people have a right to be upset, and you use that to purge the country of the Democratic Party's political opponents. So what do they really hate? Well, listen to them. They hate populist politics. They hate populist politics in this country far more than they hate Vladimir Putin. So they're using this opportunity, this war in Eastern Europe, to shut down domestic dissent in the United States. And you're seeing it, as always, in our allies first. Several of them, including Canada, have banned journalists who don't agree with their view of the war. Again, if we're going to protect democracy, that should start at home. And democracy is defined, literally defined, by the tolerance of the regime for dissent. But no dissent is allowed. So they've pulled RT off the airwaves in Canada. We did that long ago. And that led Mother Jones Magazine to ask this question today, quote, both RT and Sputnik air in the United States too. Untrue, but whatever, they don't know. Will Biden follow suit and crack down on pro-Russia disinformation? If he does, U.S. cable companies will also need to scrutinize media outlets like Fox News, whose shows, Tucker Carlson in particular, have parroted pro-Russia talking points. Okay, so Putin invades Ukraine, self-evidently a tragedy, bad for the United States, and we're using that as a justification, because we care so much about democracy, to shut down any news organization, any journalist who questions the Democratic Party. Okay, how did we get here anyway? How corroded have these people become?